This is Jordan Bauman, and this is my special occasion speech. All throughout high school, all of my friends and I always wanted to go on a snowboarding trip. Throughout high school, we kept planning trips, but it never worked out because some people could never go because of their parents. Finally, when we were all seniors, we started planning a snowboarding trip to Red Lodge, Montana. We started to get everything ready with where we were staying and how long and how much money it would cost for all of us to go. We started to get everything ready so early in the year. It seemed like it took forever for the day that we actually left to go to the mountain. I live a ways out of town, so I stayed with one of my friends that lived in town the night before because we were leaving really early in the morning. The night before we left, none of us could sleep because all we kept thinking about was leaving for the trip and getting to the mountain. Once the sun came up, we all got ready and took off for Red Lodge, Montana. We started driving really early, but none of us were tired at all because we were all wanted a snowboard so bad. The drive was about 6 hours long, but it went really fast because we were all together in one car having a good time. We got lost a few times trying to find it, but we didn't get off track too much. Once we pulled into town, we found our motel and unpacked. Red Lodge wasn't as big of a town we all thought it was going to be, but it still was one of the best towns I've ever been to. When it was night, we would just go walk around town and meet people and end up doing some crazy things with people we have just met. One night we were all just walking around town and we ended up finding a hockey ring with a bunch of random things on the ice. We ended up just messing around in that hockey ring for a couple hours. A different night, when we were walking around, we found a little stream that was flowing right on the outside of town. Every night we would walk down to that little stream and just hang out down there. We would always wake up pretty early in the morning so we could snowboard a little bit without the mountain being covered with people. Every morning we would have to drive up a long twisty trail up the mountain, and we always saw a lot of animals in the trees and on the road on the way out. The first day we were there, the weather was so nice out, we didn't even wear coats when we were riding. It was nice to be outside on the mountain when it was so nice out, but it was so warm out that all the snow was so slushy and sticky, it was a bad day for snowboarding. Even though the first day wasn't the best for riding, we all still had a really good time. The second day we woke up and we looked outside and it was snowing so hard you could barely see 10 feet in front of you. We were really excited that it was going to be a good day for riding. It quit snowing about halfway through the day. That day was probably the best day I had while I was snowboarding. We all had so much fun every day we went, but one of my friends didn't have the best time on the mountain. He was riding down and some guy cut right in front of him, and he carved away as fast as he could, but he caught an edge and fell down pretty hard and hurt his neck. He ended up staying at the motel the last 2 days because he couldn't move his neck, but he still had a fun time once we all got back from the mountain. When we were snowboarding, we always would go off the trails and try to make our own way down through the trees, but one time we kept getting farther and farther from the trail and we just kept going because we thought we'd just run into a different trail. We ended up not running into a trail. We were lost, so we had to get out of our boards and follow a trail all the way back up to where we went off that trail. We made a lot of good memories and a few new friends on this trip. Since I have been to Red Lodge, that's the only place I've been going. I went to 2 other snowboarding resorts, and there's just something about Red Lodge I like more than anywhere else. The mountain there is one of the main things I really like, and the other thing I really like is the town. Red Lodge has a lot of stores for people to buy souvenirs, and they have a huge candy store with the best candy you can find. It is just a little town, but there is always so many people staying there. every time I went there, I always met so many people, and everybody I met is always really nice, and everybody just wants to have a good time on the trip. Since I've been there, when I was a senior, I have been back every year. I am planning to go back this year too, and hopefully a lot more in the future.